Hello, everyone. This is supposed to be Facebook go live. Somehow it happened again. The camera didn't turn on. I clicked the button, it didn't respond. Okay, today's topic is about rethink pain, suffering, and the hiding crisis behind them. Today, I stand before you with a message that truly cannot wait. This is not just a talk. It's a call to action, a call that touches every heartbeat, every breath, and every life touched by pain. Because right now, quietly and relentlessly, we're witnessing a crisis unfold before our eyes. A crisis that asks each of us to pay attention, to care, and to be willing to rethink what we believe about pain and suffering. The silence crisis behind the numbers. Between year 2000 and 2014, the United States saw a 200% increase in deaths involving opioid overdose. In 2018 alone, nearly 46,800 people lost their life to opioid toxicity. And in Canada, from 2016 to 2019, more than 12,800 were lost to opioids. These are not numbers. These are sons and daughters, mothers and fathers, friends, co-workers, neighbors. Lives that should have continued, futures that should have unfolded. But behind every statistic is one truth. People were suffering. People were in pain. People were searching for relief. And in that search, something essential was lost. The understanding that pain is not the enemy. Pain is a messenger. Understanding pain instead of silencing it. If you burn your finger, you feel pain. You don't like it, but you understand its purpose. It warns you. It protects you. It helps prevent further damage. When we numb pain without understanding it, when we silence the messenger without addressing the message, we set ourselves up for deeper harm. And that harm shows up in ways many people never see coming. Let me share a story from my clinical work, a story of neuropathy when pain disappears. I once cared for a gentleman in his 60s with a severe foot infection. A year earlier, the infection had entered the bone. Without amputation, it would spread to his bloodstream. He lost a toe and part of his foot. But the story starts long before that. 15 years earlier, he was diagnosed with neuropathy, nerve damage. At first, he had a tingling, numbness, burning pain. He was given pain medication. Over time, that sensation faded and eventually disappeared. When pain left him, so did his awareness. Minor wound went unnoticed. Infections grew silently. He only sought help when Fever finally forced him into the ER. For 15 years, he chased relief from pain. But the pain wasn't the enemy. It was something he wanted to avoid alone. Pain was an alarm system trying to save his limb and his life. Just as you would never silence a hungry infant instead of feeding them, we must learn not to silence the body without understanding its need. The cost of quick fix. The desire for fast relief is understandable, but quick fixes come with consequences. I once cared for a woman who took an entire bottle of Tylenol. She ended up in the emergency room with acute liver failure. And then there is a family left behind. The father who never gets to walk his daughter down the aisle. The mother still grieving a son he will never hug again. The hiding suffering behind the spotlight. Pain, physical or emotion, does not spare anyone. Take Whitney Houston, a voice unmatched, a spirit so pure, yet constantly burdened by self-doubt. Am I good enough? Am I beautiful enough? Am I good enough for the role? Her struggle was invisible to most. Cocaine was not the cause. It was her coping mechanism. Her heart condition was not the cause. It was consequences. In the end, the weight of emotional pain created a storm she could not escape. It reminded us, pain is more than sensation. Pain is unspoken emotion, unmet needs, unhealed stories. When even the strongest medications fail. One young man I cared for was admitted at just 18. He had survived childhood kidney cancer and lived with an amputated arm. For years, opioids was increased until he reached 200 milligrams dilaudid a day, equivalent to 1,000 milligrams of morphine. Most patients receive less than 50 milligrams per day, and yet his pain persisted. After I shot him and provided acupressure, he turned to my manager and said, "Nan is amazing. She taught me how to decrease my pain. I feel like I'm surrounded by magical people." This was before I earned my doctorate. My compassion started long before my degrees, and it has guided me for 40 years. Here is a new way forward. Today, I invite you to rethink how you approach pain, not as something to silence, but as something to understand. Pain has a cause. Pain has a message. Pain has a purpose. And you deserve to know what your body is trying to tell you. A holistic approach, mind, body, emotion, and spirit, brings the whole picture back into focus. That is where I come in as your holistic health coach. My role is not to replace your medical team. It is to help you understand the why beneath your pain. the how behind your patterns, and the what you can do to reclaim control. No more suffering in silence. No more temporary fix that fade. No more feeling lost in your own body. Let me show you a simple experiment. You know the tingling, the sensation will help you. Bend your arm and your elbow is just beside the bone. There's a dent here. You just knock on it, and you will feel the tingling spread to your fingers, all your fingers. If you feel the sensation, your circulation to your hand is good. Your heart has a good circulation. If you don't, and let's talk about what's going on. Because at that stage, when you lost the sensation, you may not have any symptoms. Your EKG or ultrasound may still look normal. You might not even have a symptom, but your body, your incredible, intelligent body, may already be whispering. Let me help you learn to listen to that whisper before it becomes a screaming, before it becomes a crisis. My deepest hope is that you walk away today knowing this. Pain is not your punishment. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your guide. And when you learn how to read its simple signals, you open the doorway to healing, renewal, and vitality. And if you're ready to explore that journey, I'm here to walk it with you. Thank you for being here today. And thank you for choosing to honor the wisdom of your own body. Thank you. See you next time.